We're here with some more Brawl on MTGArena. Today we're going to be playing with a new card from Ikoria named Nethroi, Apex of Death. It is a 2 white, black, and green 5/5 Death Touch lifelink, but it has the ability to mutate for 7 mana, and when you mutate, you return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So the goal of the deck is to fill up our graveyard with creatures and then mutate Nethroi onto something and bring them all back. Ways to get things in the graveyard include the Binding of the Titans, Skull Prophet does double duty here as a mana ramp and something that fills up the graveyard, Acolyte of Affliction, Excavation Mole, the Vulture. Mindrack Harpy is a weird card that you might not know about. It's from one of the pre-constructed decks, I believe. It's a 4-mana 3/2 flyer, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, each player puts the top 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. So we fill up our graveyard. We have the Mass Recursion. A fun little thing with this is because Polukranos' power is actually 0, Polukranos comes back for free. We also have a bunch of mana ramp like the Druid package, Paradise, Leafkin, and Incubation, along with, Caryatid, Naturalist, even Feybarrow Elder, which can add lots of mana. And then a couple, big spells, such as Eerie Ultimatum. If the Nethroi isn't going to be working, you can bring everything back with Eerie Ultimatum. And there's some fun, grindy concepts that you can win with this deck, too. Corpse Knight, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Cruel Celebrate, whenever a creature dies that you control, each opponent loses a life. So you can, with things like Woe Strider, which lets you sacrifice a creature, you can have a couple weird turns where you sacrifice a bunch of things and make opponents lose life to Cruel Celebrant, and then either Eerie Ultimatum or Nethroi back a bunch of stuff, make them lose life with Corpse Knight for all those creatures coming into play, and then sacrifice them all again to make them lose life again with Cruel Celebrant, so you can kind of win out of nowhere. We're going to play 5 games. Oh, that's another wrong deck. We're going to play 5 games over here in the Brawl Guildhouse, see how we do, and see what's up. The deck seems pretty fun. It's definitely a lower power level than the last couple we've played. The last couple videos have been for Kennen and Winota. This one's much more in line with Brokos, which was our first Brawl video. So if any of those sound interesting to you, you can check through the playlist. Check those out. This hand seems fine. We have early ramp. A means to get cards in the graveyard. Like, Underrealm Lich technically puts things in the graveyard, I believe. Yep, the rest go in the graveyard. So, Underrealm Lich, whenever you draw a card, instead you look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 to your hand and the other 2 into your graveyard. So it gives you card selection and fills up the graveyard, which is pretty nice. We have a nice early start here. Now we're just looking for one or 2 cards to really pile in a bunch of cards into the graveyard. Our opponent is playing Ikoria, which is a nice one. I think I just want to play the Caryatid here. Ikoria, a 3-mana Planeswalker. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater comes into play under their control, they will gain a life, or they will draw a card, and then they can untap a permanent. So what we can do here? No, not create a food token. No. Oh, that's no good. We meant to sack the food, play Polukranos, and then Caryatid would add 2 mana, and we could play Naturalist as well. That's a bit unfortunate. We meant to play Polukranos this turn, but that's okay. Things like that happen. On the bright side, this turn we get to play Polukranos and then go ahead and kill their Sphinx to prevent them from getting any scry action in. Alternatively, we can just play the Underrealm Lich. Get that going. But I think I want to kill a 4/4 flyer if I can. We should have tapped the Naturalist as well. Can't use the Naturalist we even want to there. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 mana. We can play a Woe Strider, or we can just play the Celebrant. We can get back Pelucranos with Nethroi at some point. That one turn was pretty unfortunate. Where we misclicked on the goose. Now opponent plays an Uro. Draws a couple cards. We have a couple options for next turn. One of the options is to just play the Lich. If we just play the Lich, if we play the Lich and it resolves, we can actually also cast Woe Strider. Alternatively, we can just play Nethroi onto the Gilded Goose, get back Pelucranos, and then try to kill Ikoria, and I just think that's a little bit better. We'll mutate onto the Gilded Goose. They have Brazen Borrower, which is mildly unfortunate, but we do still get a 5/5 Death Touch lifelink.
I ebb and flow with battle.
Which means we can pretty much attack with it every turn and then just mutate it again in the future. Mutate costs do get commander taxed, for what it's worth. I learned that recently. So instead of it being 7, it'll cost 9 next time. But that's okay. Oh, Finale. For how much? For 8? Man, that was a little unfortunate. So what are we going to do here? We're now in trouble. I think we'll play our Underrealm Lich. Play our Gilded Goose. And play our Woe Strider. We would gladly, we definitely want that Nethroi to be killed at some point, so we will gladly make blocks if possible, if necessary. A Great Henge. Having only 1 card in our graveyard at this point in the game is kind of unusual, I would assume. They want to fight. Go ahead and sack this one. No, I don't think we want the land. We do get to start getting some card selection going now with the Lich.
Let's get moving.
A Lovestruck Beast, that's a 6/6. One play we can make at some point is to Pelucranos back and kill the Nethroi via fight. Go ahead and take 4. I think we'll take the Glowspore Shaman. Get more cards in the graveyard. Now we're at 4. Do I want to put anything on top? No. But we can Pelucranos now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't Pelucranos and fight. But we can Pelucranos. I have to remove 6 other cards, so we would have to remove all of them. I think that's fine at this point. Make it 12-12. They bottomed their scry, which is good. At this point, them keeping something on top would be kind of frightening. Oh, Lotus Field. Pretty good with Ikoria. A lot of mana ramp.
One drop ripples and grows.
And then they have Ugin. Well, that is unfortunate.
Do not defy the designs of an elder dragon.
Want to destroy Pelucranos, I assume? Yes. Go ahead and sack that to scry. Do they have any artifacts and enchantments that we care about at the moment? And we could kill the Great Henge. I don't think that's how we're gonna win this game. I don't think that's gonna get the job done. They have 30 cards left in their library. Take our 4. And let's see what's up. Well, none of those cards are really doing anything that we care about, unfortunately. Play Paradise Druid. Can't Pelucranos. I think we're just gonna have to gain a bunch of life this turn. We have no real attacks. I don't really know what we have in this deck to get out of this. Them stealing our Nethroi has really, like, hindered our game plan. You know, we eventually had to, like, remove 6 cards from our graveyard to bring Pelucranos back, and... Oh, it looks like they're about to do something huge. They have a lot of mana. Is this a giant Hydroid Krasis? Okay, that'll do it. So, we are 0-1. But that's alright. We'll see how it goes next game. We just didn't really get any... We didn't get to do anything unfair that game. We never really got stuff into the graveyard. So we just kind of played Abzan creatures and got beaten by these big giant X spells from our ramp opponent. First Finale of Devastation stole our 5/5 Death Touch lifelink, and then Mass Manipulation ended the game. Even though we were doing pretty rough even before then. This hand seems pretty okay. Dranith Magistrate is a great opening hand card. Make it where your opponent cannot play their commander. Their commander is Aluna. It's a 5-mana 6/6 flying trample. It mutates for 6, and when it mutates, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent and put it into the battlefield or into your hand. So that card's pretty good. I think what we'll do here is just play our Naturalist. They're not gonna play the Aluna next turn, but we can wait one more turn. The one downside is, you know, they are blue, and so counter spells are a thing that they can have now. But they didn't, so we will drop it. This one, the Beast Whisperer, though. Yeah, we have to drop it this turn. Make it where they cannot play their commander, and if their hand was mostly just attempting to ramp and then get their commander out, that really slows down the things they were trying to do. Do I want an Overgrown Tomb? I don't think so. Unfortunately, no creatures into the graveyard. Baby Godzilla. I love that card. I love like the art for Baby Godzilla. It's also just a really funny name. But here I think we just want to get Beast Whisperer into play. We could play Cruel Celebrant and Woe Strider, but, you know, I want to start drawing some cards, getting an engine rolling. If they do counter this Beast Whisperer, that's okay. It is something that can come back with Nethroi later. Also pretty cool to attack with our 3/1. We either get some damage in, or get to trade off with something and get it back later. So they only have one card left. We are definitely making life difficult for them with our Magistrate. I feel like any deck that's white in Brawl should be running the Magistrate. It just kind of takes over certain games. When an entire deck is built around getting a Luna out as quickly as possible, making it where they cannot cast a Luna, it's pretty good. Oh, we didn't attack there because they had the Adapt available. They've got a lot of mana they can make. On the bright side, though, with Woe Strider, we're able to prevent any, like, real shenanigans with thievery, whether that be Agent of Treachery or Mass Manipulation or anything. So the next question is, do we want to try to cast Nethroi just to get the Beast Whisperer? And I think here, the answer can be no. Because we can just mutate onto this goat and try to kill their Arcane Signet. With them only having one card in hand, the other thing we can do is just play this as a 5/5. And I think we will do that. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we cannot do that. See, it was glowing, so I thought we could, but we only have 4 mana available. Okay. No real attacks. I don't want to, like, do the game where we sacrifice a bunch of things to make them lose life with Celebrant and then cast Nethroi to bring it all back, just because, you know, they have one card in hand, it could be a counter. We don't really want to lose our board. So let's be patient. Like, here's a nice Doom Whisperer. Doom Whisperer, very, very good with Nethroi. We get to surveil a bunch, put a lot of things into the graveyard. So this is something they definitely should counter if they have one. And if they don't, cool. If they do, we can Nethroi next turn. We can also put the Nethroi onto the Armored Killer because it has Trample, and then we would have Death Touch and Trample, which is a nice combo. We also have a 6/6 flyer now. And I think it's pretty safe to say that this Magistrate has really taken over this game. I think we're in a pretty okay position because of it. Alright. They get to draw a card and discard a card. And then... how do they do this? They exile cards from top of the library until they exile a permanent card. And then put that permanent onto the battlefield. Oh, they got a Flash Shark. A little unfortunate. Means they can bounce our Magistrate and then get going with their Illuna. I think we'll Surveil here. We'll put both of these in the graveyard. Surveil here. Put both of these in the graveyard. We're going to do this quite a bit. Looking for Pelucranos because it's free. Destiny Spinner. That's fine. I want to keep Airy Ultimatum. We're at what, 16? I'll do it one more time. 14. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so we draw Airy Ultimatum. Go and grab a Swamp here. Activate this again. Yeah, Tristani's great. Okay. And put this on... yeah, the Death Touch Trampler. Only have one card left, so hopefully it is not a counterspell. Oh, it was a counterspell. Okay, put it back in the command zone. And attack for 6 flying. So what we can do is Doom Whisper until we get a Swamp on top. And then just Eerie Ultimatum next turn. And bring everything back. Pretty big graveyard to bring back. So we will Surveil. We're looking for a Swamp. Either one of those is what we want. Down to 8. Getting a little dangerous. I'll go to 6. I mean, we do get to gain life with Cruel Celebrant if like things get too wild. Alright. 4. Wow, where's our Swamp? Where's our Swamp friends? Yeah, I'll go to 2. Tap Swamps? Alright, fine. Fine. I can wait one more turn. Oh yeah, we'll take Pelucranos. So the Mutate would cost 2 more. Playing a little dangerous here now. It's a wee bit dangerous now, and we might get massively punished for this. Brazen Borrower the Magistrate. Yeah, we're going to get punished. I think we lose. Because then they get to mutate Illuna onto their shark. Resolve. Well, we'll see exactly how many things we have to sack. Knowing that we have Eerie Ultimatum next turn means that it's okay to sack literally everything if we have to. This is what, a 6/6? We got a little loose with it, but we'll see how it goes. I like to draw and discard. I guess maybe we should not have attacked with the Doom Whisperer. What are they bouncing? The Doom Whisperer? Okay, let's go ahead and sack that. Keep Pelucranos. Let's see what they put into play. Probably Gnarl. No, it is Gnar. Alright. Sacrifice this. Gain a life. I think we win with the Eerie Ultimatum next turn, though. 4. 5. 6. And then Celebrant puts us to 7, which means we go to 1. They're at 5. We untap, cast Eerie Ultimatum, bring everything back, and then they die. I think if they would have bounced the Cruel Celebrant, we would have lost, because then they could have just attacked with everything. Cruel Celebrant, Jungle Hollow, Caryatid, Temple of Pliny, Tristani, Corpse Knight, Mind Rack Harpy, Destiny Spinner, Forest, Feyburrow Elder, Beast Whisperer, Paradise Druid, Overgrown Tomb, Swamp, Great Horn, Fabled Passage, Vulture, Naturalist, Plains, Underrealm Lich, Temple, Doom Whisperer, Glowspore Shaman, Dorev, and that thing. And that is a bazillion triggers. And we win! Awesome. So it got a little closer than it should have. I think by attacking with the Doom Whisperer, we definitely made it closer than it needed to be. But we got to do a whole bunch of triggers, had a good time, and went to 1-1. MVP of that game was definitely the Magistrate. I do think that that's a card that might be best being banned in Brawl. Making it where your opponent just can't play their commander is really frustrating. Looks like our opponent is on Kinnan. This hand seems pretty good. Kinnan is a pretty great card. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. And then it's also got like a mana sink. For 7 mana, you can look at the top 5 cards of your library and put a non-human creature onto the battlefield. But its biggest ability is the ramp. It coming down for so cheap just enables some explosive starts. We have a video with Kinnan I mentioned earlier in this video. We want to Incubation Druid. And Caryatid. Which means next turn I can play Pelucranos and then fight Sublane. But this turn they have 4, 6, 8 mana. It's a lot of mana. Dream Eater. Travail 4 and then bounce Sublane. Bounce the Paradise Druid, which means we now have 5 mana. We can still do what we want to do if we draw a land, but we did not. But we can still play Pelucranos. And then Paradise Druid. So they only have 1 card left in hand. And a lot of their creatures are pretty cheap, so Pelucranos should be able to mow down some of them. And that might be what we just want to do next turn, is just pick off a few things like the Druid and the Naturalist. Let's see. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana to work with. Yeah, so what we can do is fight the Dream Eater. We messed up. We should have tapped the Caryatid for that, because now Pelucranos is not 4 or more power. We actually only have 4 mana left, which means we can't fight something else and play a creature like we were going to. Alright, that was a small mistake. We also should have fought the Leafkin Druid first. Couldn't kill the Risen Reef, though. Yeah, what we should have done there is fight Leafkin Druid and then fight the 4/3, and it would have worked out fine. And then we could have played Destiny Spinner or Mire Triton. I'm feeling a bit okay about where we're at, though. They're getting to the point where they're going to need to start doing, like, Kin and Mana Sinks. Which is still good, but it means they're not, like, casting a bunch of spells. What is that, a 7/7? Taps down Pelucranos. We take 12 here? Ooh, that is a lot. Oh, we take 13. Am I wanting to chump? How much mana do we have next turn? 4, 5, 6, 7? No, I don't think I want to chump. I think I just want to take this. Go to 3. Play Mire Triton. Play Tristani. Tristani can help us protect against any, like, steal effects. What's at a high life total, but I like our board. We definitely want to fade another mutate spell. That tapping down a couple things would be a problem. What do they reveal? Signet. Gem Razor, really the only thing that's relevant. Okay. So I can replay their Uro. And not killing that Leafkin Druid first, doing that in the wrong order, definitely hurt. What do we have in our graveyard? Just a Storev? So nothing much. There's some more things in the graveyard. Oh, 3 lands. I do not want to put a land on top. Whoa, Strider. And Destiny Spinner. So we got a pretty wide board now. Next turn we can get a bunch of scries in and then bring back all the stuff with Nethroi if we want to. They have a bunch of big creatures, but we have a lot of creatures. What do we want to do here? I think we want to double block here. Again, with Nethroi, Pelucranos comes back and is just... Oh, Pelucranos doesn't even die. That's right, because it's a 1-1 thanks to Tristani. Okay. So we know what their hand is, so we get to Nethroi anything we want at this point. Right now there's 8. This would be... Oh, they just conceded. Yeah, we were about to do some pretty crazy stuff, but that works too, because we were about to get a lot of scries in as well. So we get to scry a lot and bring back a lot of stuff. An opponent just decided they didn't want to play that. So we were able to beat Kennen. Kennen, a very, very good deck. So 2-1, hopefully we can eke out another win somewhere. It's always more fun when we become 3-2 or better. This hand seems bad. Hand seems too slow. We're against Thrix. Yeah, I just want my free mulligan. This hand's better. I think it's a Thrix deck. Veil of Summer seems pretty good. I would like to draw another land, though. I want Paradise Druid. Naturalist. No. Veil of Summer. Draw an extra card. What do we want to grab? A swamp, I assume? Let's start with... What do we have? We have 6 mana. Let's start with the Vulture. That is something they probably want to, like, counter if they can. Putting things in my graveyard. Perfect. And now we can get the Fade Burrow Elder in play. Add in Mo Manas. To the Mire Triton. The top 2 cards. Gain 2 life and play Pelucranos. Wanted to play Pelucranos before playing Nethroi because, again, Nethroi getting back Pelucranos for free is just so nice. Next turn we can fight the Thrix. I'm not sure why Hypnotic Sprite went into the Adventure Zone after we Veil of Summered. Dream Eater. Okay. What I can do here, fight the Dream Eater, get bounced, and then replay it, and attack for 2. Is this a Death Touch? They've got a Thrix on board, and we've got a Pelucranos, a bunch of mana, some stuff in the graveyard to bring back with Nethroi. I like where our position is here. Emergence Zone is a land that, what does it do? It lets them cast spells as though they had flash. Okay. Mass Manipulation. Well, not great. Over, please. And we're gonna get back Mire Triton and Incubation Druid. We're trying to find Tristani. We will gladly trade off with that Elder. Oh, with the Elder, they can actually, like, fight with Pelucranos. That's amazing. They chose not to, though. We go to 16? Oh, this removes something from combat? Yuck. Let's play Binding of the Titan. Well, actually, let's play Sir Conrad. Oh, they had Bone to Ash for Sir Conrad. What? Yeah, we should have tapped the Naturalist for Sir Conrad. Oh, wow. Their commit to the endgame drew him 2 different counterspells. Oh, this is no good. Oh, the Unsummon is actually really nice, luckily. It means we get to bring back stuff with Nethroi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, we have enough. Let's just knock down Pelucranos a little bit. Go to 10. Bring a bunch of stuff back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and I need 9. Ah, I see. That's right. The mutate ability also gets taxed. We talked about that earlier. So we can do that next turn. A little unfortunate, but... What's really interesting here... The 7? Oh. So we'd have to draw another land. Do we have anything that flies in here? Yeah, we have Gilded Goose. We also gain some life. Okay. Yeah, so... Go to 3. They have 1 card left. We would have drawn the land anyways. Nethroi. Put it over. Oh, and working it back. Gilded Goose. Conrad is 5. 7. Rainbow Elder is also free. Oh, we get to bring back everything. Nice. Alright. So put 2 things in graveyard. Gain 2 life. Deal 1 damage to each opponent. We don't want to attack with Nethroi because they have the labyrinth of the labyrinth. I can just remove it in combat. But now we're at 5. We have Sir Conrad plus Woe Strider, which could be interesting. We have a lot of mana. Opponent's at 21. And they conceded. Yeah, I think they saw the writing on the wall. We got pretty down low there, but we're able to work through it. Made a couple small errors. This deck has been interesting in that it's got a lot more like small sequence things that I didn't really realize. Things like fighting the correct order with Pelucranos when you have the Caryatid in play. Keeping track of your mana for taxed mutate abilities. Getting to bring back some things for free because they technically have 0 power. Lots of like almost aristocratic like sack creatures for an effect, usually to make the opponents lose life, and then bring them back. I think we'll take our free mulligan on this one. Our opponent is playing Winota. Winota is a 4 mana, 4/4. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield and attacking. And then they get indestructible. So we're going to need to draw a green source. Winota's definitely been like the Brawl menace since its release. It's just a very powerful card. It's incredibly explosive. A lot of the times on turn 4, if they play it and you can't kill it before their attack step, you're just going to lose. But we're going to do our best to work through it. If you can survive the early onslaught of it, the deck's not too bad. But surviving that early onslaught is difficult. Best draw on the deck would be the Magistrate. That was not the best draw on the deck. Veil of Summer looks very bad here. Probably should have mulliganed since we had Veil of Summer in hand and it was basically a multi-6 anyways. And we could have looked for a better opening hand against Winota. No attacks. What we're going to want to do here is basically block both of their creatures. Hope that the humans they get into play aren't too bad. Inspiring Captain is awful for us. So we'll block here. We can't actually block the Grim Initiate, which is a bit unfortunate. I've seen better, I've seen better Winotas. The problem is we just don't have anything we have going on yet either. Because now they still just have a whole bunch of power on the board. And we definitely kept a bad hand. So this section of 5 games was definitely full of a lot of small mistakes. I say small mistakes. It was varying degrees of mistakes. And they all added up. The decision to keep this hand was just a loss, I think. Okay, they did whiff. That's good. So we only take 7. But now they also get a Satyr and a 1/1. So all we've done is really give them more Winota triggers. Also at 12. Oh. They draw cards. This comes into play tapped. Yeah, it's not looking great. I have a feeling this attack step will be the end of the game. But we'll go ahead and let them do it. I always like to let the opponents do their cool things. You build a whole deck around getting to put creatures into play with Winota. Go ahead and have fun and put your creatures into play. What did they put into play? A 2/2? Okay. Oh, that also makes a creature. It's just a battlefield, create a 1/1. Oh, and this thing just makes... Oh, no, they are humans, okay. But I mean... That's a really nice combo with the Inspiring Captain. That's a lot of cards they're drawing. And Haktos? Okay, well, we are incredibly dead. And this is, you know, a good reason. Like, this is what, turn 6 for them on the play? We have some tap mana. Yeah, I think it's turn 6 on the play for them. And you can just see their board is just absurd. And this was not one of the best Winotas. Their first one was kind of weak. Winota definitely, like, incredibly, incredibly powerful. Probably the... If you were playing competitive Brawl, Winota is what I would play. Followed by Kinnan. From the new set. But still, we went 3-2. I'm pretty happy with that. We had a lot of interesting games, learned a lot of things. Let's pull the deck back up real quick. I thought it was pretty solid. We didn't get to really go nuts with early graveyard stuff. We never drew Mind Rack Harpy. We never got to get the, where is it? Right here, Skull Prophet going, where it ramps early and then puts things in the graveyard. We did get to, like, win a game with Eerie Ultimatum. That was really cool. Pelucranos was really good. Overall, I thought the deck was fine. I don't think it's the strongest one we've played, but I don't think it's terrible either. I think if this is the type of thing you like doing, this deck's perfectly fine. You can win some games. You get some long, drawn-out games like we saw. You get to do some cool stuff. Overall, I had a good time, and I hope you did too. I want to thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.